All right, the live stream is starting up on YouTube right now, so we will get started. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. If any of you are wondering, probably still voice isn't quite there yet, and still got some stuff going. But um, oh, awesome! Thanks, John. Awesome. Glad you're playing through it. John on Instagram says he's still playing through. Yeah, I miss you too, cuz. Uh, I know we got to get together soon. The family's got to get together. But yeah, John on Instagram. That's my cousin Jen. She's awesome. Uh, that I'm talking to through this live stream. But yeah, John says still playing through your book, and great stuff. Thank you, John. Thanks for checking it out. If any of you want a donation based book, so meaning that give what you want or just get it for free, there's a link below in the YouTube, and then in my Instagram bio, I'm sure there's a 25 Tuesday link there. So feel free to download it if you want to donate something. Great. If not, that's all good too. Hey Tracy, what's going on? Nice to see you. Thanks. I know I'm a day late. I was exhausted last night, so I have a little more energy tonight, and really want to talk about something that I've been thinking about lately. And maybe I'll make a video on this of some sort as I start to maybe gather my thoughts on it. Is that Eric? Yeah, I think that's Eric. It's the only person I know with that last name. What a killer! So Guitar Gralnick, my buddy Eric is on. He's an insanely good guitar player. We jam here sometimes, which we need to do very soon. Um, so anyway, so what I was saying is that I've been thinking about this lately for myself, but I thought I'd share my thoughts on this, and I know it's like a 2-5 Tuesday, but I also think that this is a really important platform to talk about practice and ways to approach music, ways to approach your goals as a musician, not just give you licks and then say, hey, uh, good luck. you know so I want to talk about something I've been thinking about, and what I've been thinking about lately is intention, meaning, and I've named this one intention on YouTube, but intention meaning like, what are you doing every day to really focus on what your intention is with music, with life, right? And so what does that mean, intention? It's in my definition of it, just a working definition in my head, not like a Webster's dictionary kind of thing. But it's for me, it's meaning to do something, like, on purpose or directly. I'm directly doing something for a specific reason or a specific outcome. That's a working definition. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but who cares? You guys get it. Um, and and what I mean by that is like, what are you doing to prep yourself for a practice session, or what are you doing to get yourself ready for a gig, or just get yourself ready for the day? Because intention can go a long ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be just towards music, but it can be for your overall well-being, and how you live your life. And so I'm just going to give you a couple of ideas and some things that I think might help you have better intention with your practice sessions, or keep you on track for different things. And then maybe show you something like, specifically, um, if you set something out for yourself. So one of the things you can do to improve your intention, or to focus on it, or to maybe narrow it down, maybe you're all over the place with what you want to do, or what direction you want to go with what you're learning right now, right? So maybe it's something like, by the way, I see all these familiar names and faces on Instagram. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Um, so what one thing you can definitely do, that you should do, and I highly suggest you doing this, is to write some goals out, right? So write a goal. It can be about learning tunes, or it could be possibly about um, you know, playing at a certain speed, or learning certain rhythmic figures, or maybe it's just learning one tune, but you want to learn that tune in all 12 keys, or you want to learn a solo, someone solo and transcribe it. Those are just some ideas of goals you can make. and those are broad, right? So those are big goals, right? If you want to transcribe a Joshua Redman solo from start to finish, that's a big goal, and that might take you months to do, which is cool because you'll probably have it down really, really well. But what can you do each day to keep you on that track? So your the overall intention is good for that goal, but how do you keep yourself accountable? How do you get from not knowing the Joshua Redmond solo to knowing it, right? And same thing goes with anything. If it's scales oriented, like if you want to learn all of your altered dominant scales, or you want to learn, you know, diminished scales, right? There's only three of them, so hopefully you can learn those pretty quick. But if you want to learn certain diminished lines or whole tone lines, this goes on and on, right? And music, you all know, is an endless endeavor. But how do we keep ourselves on track? Like how do we do that? So something I've been doing, and like I said, I've been thinking about lately, is, well, I'm little side note. So I do try to meditate every day. I try to do some form of meditation. Now, some people might be on here and they say, "Oh, well, playing my instrument is meditative to me." That's fine. My wife is a runner, is a long distance runner, and she always used to tell me, because she said she tried to meditate, and then she's like, I don't like it. I can't do it. But she's like, when I'm out running, I feel like it's really meditative. And meditation is personal, right? So everyone has their own way and of feeling it and doing it. But I think for me, meditation is like, if you can put yourself in the moment, right? In the moment right now, and keep yourself there, that's meditation. I know that's probably not the right definition of it, where I don't know why we're defining a bunch of things today. But to me, that's what I think of as meditation, right? Keeping yourself in the moment, and keeping a clear mind, and being one, with yourself. And this is pretty deep, but if you haven't tried meditation, I highly suggest it. I think it's an amazing thing. um, you guys probably know I haven't been on much social media lately. I try to do these once a week, but I'm not doing a lot of meditation. I'm trying to focus on figuring out, like, certain things that make me happy, and honestly, staying off social media has made me really happy. And I've been having a lot of time with other things in my life, like my kids, and some other things that I've been trying to focus on. So, and meditation doesn't have to be like this 20-minute thing. I know it sounds like, oh, you need to just sit still or whatever, but it could be a minute. Like, some people do it during long tones. It could be a breathing exercise. All things that could benefit us instrumentalists, right? That aren't, pianists, or that can actually breathe and play at the same time. But for anybody blowing into something, right? That could be beneficial, right? Working on breath, working on your diaphragmatic breathing, working on filling up your diaphragm in your lungs. Um, off the tangent, sorry. So so meditation can do one thing for you, which is keep you in the moment, right? The last thing you should do in the practice room is be thinking about, oh, I'm practicing this, but oh man, I need to text Bobby, or I need to do this, I need to do that, right? So, like, you want to be focusing in on what is actually happening on your horn, or whatever you're playing. What's happening, what are you taking in through your ears, right? Maybe you're sight reading something. Are you really focused on that, or are you thinking about what you're having for breakfast, or where you're meeting your buddy for lunch? So there's those aspects of, and trust me, I am like, that is me to a T. Like, I sometimes am in here. I try not to bring my phone in here if I can help it. I don't want any distractions. All my notification stuff is off. I don't even have my computer on most of the time. I have a metronome that I don't even need my phone to turn on. And if I turn my phone on, it's for like Drum Genius or something, right? So limit distractions, but being in the moment, and taking on what you're intending to learn, whatever your goal is. So that brings me to the next point, is plan, right? So why don't you plan your practice session, or just not even necessarily plan it, but write something down, write one or two things down that you really want to work on, right? You intend, you're showing intention to those couple of things. And it could be a number of things. It could be, I want to play my scales at 80 beats per minute, whatever. I want to play, I want to learn 4 bars of that Joshua Redman solo I said earlier, or I want to Learn 8 bars of Have You Met Miss Jones or Sunny Side of the Street or whatever tune you love. Um, and that's your like your goal. So you write that down on a little pad of paper or on your phone or on your whatever, your tablet, and then you have something that you're actually shooting for each day. I know some people write down what they did after they practice, but that's like a retroactive, right? We want to be proactive. We don't want to be reactive. We want to be, you know, we want to like kind of set an intention. And honestly, like you only need one or two things. If you focus on one or two things in a whole practice session, even if you just focus on one, that's amazing. And so you might actually notice that this stuff might start to trickle into your everyday life, which might not be bad if you don't play music for a living, and you see this start trickling into maybe schoolwork or maybe your work, like if you have a career doing something else. um, that's not a bad thing, right? Because all of this is going to feed into another, and then that intention that you take into your everyday life is going to just come back right back into the practice room and into your music. So yeah, so I mean, these are just some ways that I think that I've been thinking about, that I've been kind of ruminating on, I guess. And I think they're well worth your time. It doesn't take that much time, right? If you don't want to meditate, that's fine. But if you want to take a minute or two before you practice and write something down with intention, like what you're going to do, then I think that's well worth your time. 1 minute out of your practice session to stay focused is much better than just rushing into a bunch of scales or a bunch of whatever, and then just not knowing where you're going next. But if you can focus on one or two things throughout a practice session, I promise you and you do that for 15 minutes, I bet that's going to be way more beneficial to you in the long run versus just practicing for an hour straight and not having, and you're in Noodleville and you're doing all this other stuff. Um, so, um, okay. So we can still do questions. I'm going to show you something in terms of like what I mean by all this stuff, um, as far as like an intended thing to practice. Like, so this is just one example of something that you could possibly say, like, I'm going to intend to do this. For instance, like, let's say I want to practice out more spread voicings on a tune. Let's say on the sunny side of the street. And I want to practice spread voicings, and I want to practice um, voice leading all within one kind of session. And maybe I'll just show you the first 4 bars. But this is something that can, just these 4 bars, you could probably spend 10 minutes on it, if not more. And let's do it out of time, so I'm not like constricted. Like, you want to give yourself some parameters, but you also don't want to make it so hard that you can't do it right away. So first I'm going to just do it and not even worry about time, right? I just want to make it so I'm hearing it, and I'm meeting my intended goal. I know I'm saying intended intention a lot, but that's part of it, right? Like making these goals, and intention has a lot to do with goals. They're very much intertwined. But let me do that. Let me do a spread voicing. Sorry, it's really hot in my office, so if I'm sweating or wiping, it's steamy in here. As most of you know, if I don't know how many people are in here that are in the United States, but most of the United States is having a heat wave. It's unusually humid in California. I'm sure my buddy Dave would make fun of me and be like, "Oh yeah, it's like 30% humidity." Actually, it was 80% humidity today, so it was kind of a lot. So what am I doing? My intention is to make. I'm going to play you 4 bars of On the Sunny Side of the Street, right? And then I'm going to use spread voicings, but I'm not going to be at any time. I'm gonna do spread voicings, and I'm also going to do voice leads. So you're going to hear voice leads happen. Okay. So here we go. All right. So the first 4 bars are Cuepo, that's the first 4 bars. Okay. So here's the spread voicing, right? Uh, bar can be you can think of it as like a F sharp 7 to a then it goes into B minor. I like to think of that as almost like a C7 sharp 11. Get the F sharp in there, and then I get to C. So it's kind of oh, I'm sorry, Julian. I'm sorry. On YouTube, Julian says it kind of sounded. I wonder if there was something more like today. Can everybody hear me okay on Instagram? Because I might just close the feed in on YouTube. YouTube if it's not feeling right. Um, Also, feel free to ask questions. We can do question and answer stuff right after I kind of show this intentional, like a crazy echo. All right. I'm gonna shut the YouTube feed down. Julian, I'm sorry if you want to go check me out on Chris G Sachs, whatever my thing is. Chris G Sachs on Instagram. Go there. I'm sorry, it's crazy echo. That sucks. This whole video is gonna suck then. YouTube. All good. All right. I'm gonna go right straight to Instagram. So, bye YouTube. Sorry about that. Okay. Back to the intent.